Hey, my friend, happy Thursday. Hopping on here for Thursday's live, Thursday Thoughts. Sorry, I'm a little late from when I said I was gonna hop on. Sometimes things happen. That is part of being a badass mamapreneur, boss lady, right? So I'm really excited with what I want to share with you guys today. Do you or does your business need a facelift? So if your first question is, I don't know, the answer to that is probably yes. If you have not updated your profile or your, Facebook page, or, it could be anything, your Instagram, your Twitter, whatever it is. When people are looking you up online on social media, have you given it a facelift recently? I have a few tips that I want to share. I'm going to give you the grand scheme of things. And then I'm going to start to break those down in some of these lives that are coming up for you guys. So hopefully you find this helpful. All right. So do you need a facelift? One of the things that you can ask yourself is, think about the people that you know. Think about people that you see on social media. Everybody's got kind of a side hustle or a side gig, correct? And a lot of people have found, network or affiliate marketing, which is great, right? That's fine. But here's the thing. Are they still, I don't want to say going about it wrong, but are they still spamming your news feed, right? I can tell immediately when someone's found something new, and there's nothing wrong with sharing it. Some people are shameless about it, right? But the reality is people are sophisticated, and the market is very sophisticated. People are sold to all the time, every day. We are bombarded with sales pitches. We don't want to be pitched to, right? We don't want to be sold to. We want to be influenced. We want to give us a reason, right? When people get on social media, hopefully they tune into you to give a reason, right? So you have to be interesting. And you're probably not going to do that pitching your product. So I know we've talked about this over and over and over and over and over again, but it really is the most important thing. So here's the deal. If your news feed is like that, or let's say you do it right. Let's say you have a curiosity post and people are like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they want to find out what you're about, right? You're maybe new friends or something like that. Assuming you're building on your personal. They click over to your links, and I immediately look to see, and 9 times out of 10, I can see the product. I can see maybe their company website or whatever. And I got to be honest, it's a little bit of a turnoff. It's kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's great that they found this, but I don't need that mascara, or I don't need that. So instead of it being about the person, meaning them, or instead of it being about me, the person who's scrolling, it becomes about what you're selling. And I think most of us would agree that this is what we are turning against. This is what we are moving toward, right? And Facebook is absolutely making changes because people don't want to see that in their newsfeed. So they're hiding it. They're reporting it. They're doing all of these things. They don't want to be pitched or sold to. So if your business needs a facelift and you don't know how to do it, or you don't know how to perform it, you better find someone who does. So hopefully I can help you with that. The first thing I would do, I'm not saying you have to go and delete all your stuff. I've been there, right? We've all been guilty of it. So, forgive yourself if this is you. But when you know better, you do better. So I would say take all your company stuff off. You want people, especially if it's your personal page that you're building on, which I think most people in compliance are on there. Let's be honest, if they're in network marketing. You need to take your crap off. Take the crap off your page, because what are people going to do? If I don't know you that well and I'm seeing you, even if I'm interested, I'm going to go and look at what that is. I'm going to be able to do that in probably one click. Then I'm going to go over to Google and I'm going to find someone. And chances are I probably already know someone that does that. And you're like, oh, that's what that is? Oh, I'm just going to ask so-and-so down the street. Even though it was your post, your marketing, your strategy that maybe perhaps led them. You're not giving people a reason to reach out to you at all, right? At all. So take stuff off of your page, off your profile, off your Instagram, off your Twitter, mostly off of your Facebook, right? Because people are on to that, and it's just a big turnoff. It's okay that you have your business, and it's okay that you're sharing that, but it's not okay you're probably not reaching as many people as you can by reality is you're marketing your company name instead of yourself. So, all right. So let's say you've taken all that off. You're not, posting things that they can Google anymore. You're not posting the company name. You're not, you're creating posts that are interesting. You're giving them a reason to reach out to you, right? You're creating that curiosity and you're solving a problem, right? I've talked about that before in Facebook Lives. You need to, what product or service or what problem do you solve for people? So when you're thinking about going through giving your Facebook or any of your social media a facelift, you need to ask yourself, what does your product or your service solve? What problem does it solve? And that needs to be your entire marketing strategy when you're reaching out to people, because that is what people are thinking when they are on your page or social media. What is in this for me, and what problem that I have does this solve, right? And then making the curiosity and the post around that, not around the product, right? The price, the opportunity, or whatever it is, okay? So when you are thinking about what to create, what content, what post, whatever it is, whether it's on your personal or your business page, you need to establish your ideal prospect. Like in an ideal world, what are you trying to attract? So let's assume you're trying to make sales, right? Because we all want to do that. What product do you have and what problem can you solve? So whether it's real estate, hair, skin, nails, whatever, instead of saying like, ooh, buy my stuff, like give me a solution to a problem and intrigue me to want to watch your video or want to reach out to you. Because I'm not going to say, ooh, here's my credit card, give me that. There might be some, but I would say the large part of the people that you're trying to reach, you are not organically reaching, right? And when I say organically reaching, I'm meaning like if you're on your personal page. If you are still doing this on your personal page, you absolutely need a facelift, right? Because people are hiding and unfollowing you and you probably don't even know it, right? Because we all have that friend who has found that new side hustle, which is great, and they are probably ignorance on fire, which we've all been there, right? But when you know better, you do better. And so you've got to change your marketing strategy into giving people value so that even if I don't buy your stuff, right, you still are giving me a reason to watch you. Maybe it's because I learned something. Maybe it's because you're funny. I would watch if it was just entertaining, right? I know I shared this yesterday, but I've been watching that Millionaire show where the guy takes $100 and he's trying to make $1 million in like 90 days. And they have this pitmaster guy. I don't know his name, but I'm like, I would go there just to meet that guy. Like just to meet that guy. And if I was hiring, I would hire that guy. Just because he's like the whole face of this whole thing. So that's what one person and one person's personality can do. So when you're just posting pictures or product that is not intriguing to anyone, nothing. There really should never be a reason why you just have a picture of whatever product that it is. Now, you could have maybe a story to go with it, or if you're doing a video, right, you don't have the name in there, you're like, this solves this problem, or this helps me with this, and you're sharing your story. That's totally fine. So that's why it's really important to establish your ideal prospect, because you need to know what market that you are trying to reach, not just throwing it out there and hoping that someone buys your stuff and that it sticks. That is not a good strategy, and it will not get you where you want to go. I promise you. So you need to build a biz like a boss. All right, how do we do that? Get off your personal page. If you have a business, your personal page should be for personal things. Should I just let that sit and marinate for a second? Your personal page should be for your personal stuff. I'm not saying you cannot share who you are. Anyone that knows me real personally, they know I'm into health, I'm into my business, on top of being really into my family and sports and that kind of thing, right? So what you see is what you get. So I'm not saying that you need to completely keep everything separate at all times. I'm just saying your platform, especially if you're trying to build online, you need to think of your online space as your storefront, right? So if you were opening a store, what would you want your storefront to look like? And so that's what I mean today when I'm saying you need a facelift, because you need to take off the things that are not serving you. And I'm not saying scrap it, right? What's working? What's not? What can we do better, right? 3 questions to move you forward. What's working? What's not? What can we do better? Those were game changers for me, because it doesn't mean you have to scrap every single thing. But what you can do is, if you've been having this organic reach and you've shared your business and your opportunity, and maybe you're doing it correctly and you're creating curiosity, you're going to run out of people because you only have so many friends, right? So doesn't it make sense to build like a boss, move over, create a business page revolved around you, because you are your brand and people will follow you on social media because it is you, right? They don't buy your stuff. They buy from you because they know, like, and trust you. And on that page, figure out your ideal prospect, figure out what you're marketing, what problem you're solving, and then offer education, value, and things there. And only focus on that there. And that's okay. Because what can you do now? Well, number one, when you start a page, especially if you're a business page, and I'm talking to newbies here, so some of y'all, this will be old, you can run a likes campaign to people who would already be interested in what you have to offer. So if you can figure out and hone in and be real clear about what your business is, what your niche is, which is your brand, right? Everybody's like, oh, I don't know how to do this branding thing. It's you. And then knowing your niche, going through that, okay, well, what's my ideal prospect? Who am I reaching out to, and what problem am I solving? So now it is no longer about what you sell, your product, your opportunity, nothing. It is, what problem are you solving? So you have this problem, and now you are going to help in as many ways as you can. And yes, for free. For free. A lot of times for free, because you want to give value, because people feel like they can trust you, which is important, right? That's so important. That is why I made this page. I wanted people to get value from things that I've already learned, or that literally were like making me cringe because they were so inauthentic to me and how I wanted to build my business and what I wanted business to look like and how I wanted to add multiple streams of income to what I was already making. Hopefully that makes sense. If this makes sense to you, if you've learned anything and you're watching this video, I know most of y'all watch this on replay, which is cool. Just let me know. I know a bunch of you yesterday said, oh my gosh, I learned a lot from that yesterday. I appreciate it, value, blah, blah, blah. Let me know, please. So establish your ideal prospect. Clean up your Facebook and your social media. Give it a platform. Think of your online space as your storefront, right? Start a business page. If you don't know how to do that, reach out. Say, Emily, I don't know what you're talking about when you say build a business page and run a likes campaign. Run a likes campaign specifically to your niche target market ideal prospect. That is a great place to start, because you want people who are interested already in what you have to offer. So you go find those people and then bring them to you. And hopefully, right, everybody's kind of getting what they want. You are able to offer your product or your service or your opportunity, and they, if they have this problem, you are helping them to solve that problem. So it's a win-win, right? So that's pretty much all I'm going to share today. I would say, I've had a lot of people, oh, well, what about, starting a blog or doing this or doing that? Or should I run ads? Should I do this? If you don't have anywhere for it to run to, and you haven't really gained clarity around, what it is that you're offering, what it is that you're building, I've been there, and it was very confusing, and you can really waste a lot of time and money. So I would say, whatever it is, if you are at ground zero, because I think that's a lot of those of you that I've been connecting with are really on ground zero, and that's where I was the most frustrated. So I feel you. But I would say just run through those that we talked about today, and then see where you are, and then start to build that business page and that storefront. I heard somebody say that, like, your profile is kind of as important, I think they said more important, I would say it's important as your resume for a job. And absolutely it's that important if you're building online. So if you haven't gone and looked at your, profile and what you've got on there, what you're offering, what are people seeing of their first impression of you? Are they seeing videos where you're offering value? Are they seeing, creative ways that they are going to want to come back and follow you? Or are you just pitching them your business and they're like, oh yeah, that's the skin girl, that's the shake girl, that's the hair chick, that's the, right? Because that's how you're getting labeled. Instead of, Susie or Sharon or Heather or Jessica or, whatever, instead of thinking of you, they're thinking of what you do. And if you're already, I did not want to be that person. And a little bit that's okay, right? Like I'm the healthy nut. I'm okay with that, right? But it doesn't really define me, right? So I don't want people to think of one product. I don't want people to think of one thing. I want them to think, oh my gosh, she's amazing. You can get so much free information, right? Because we are bombarded with information. So that is never my intention. I don't want you to have information constipation. I think I got that from Nadia Melton, I think. But it's so true, right? We're not lacking for information. It's just, are we applying it? So if you have not given your social media platforms a facelift, I strongly suggest you go look at it. I try to do this every once in a while, go on your LinkedIn, go on your Twitter, go on your Facebook, anywhere, even your blog, right? I mean, most of us are pretty aware of that. And see what it looks like. See if it's still serving your ideal prospect. See if you're creating that curiosity. See if you're giving people a reason to follow you. If it's your personal page, are you sending them over to your business page and vice versa? Are you really able to connect with people? Can people feel like they can connect with you personally? Or is it just, you usually have that friend that you're like, oh, their last post was 2016. You're like, okay, not really a social media user. That's okay, right? That's okay. My husband is not on social media at all. He's like, you have enough for all of us, so it's fine. But those of us that are trying to build a business on this platform, it's time to look like a boss. So fix that storefront, give it a facelift, start there. Let me know how it goes. If you have any questions or concerns, always feel free to reach out. In the meantime, get out there and crush it. You got this. Bye, guys.